YouTube, Christopher Raven here.
Starfire.
And tonight we're talking about tonight's episode of The Flash.
Season 7, episode 6, I believe. The one with the 90s.
Because we've been stuck in the 90s.
In 1998. When there's a Blockbuster.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I loved that. That moment of seeing the Blockbuster, I was just like,
I love when they were like searching for like clothes to wear and it was playing "This Is How We Do It." It's like, yes.
Yes.
And then when they showed Caitlin and Iris and Joe and Frost.
I know. And then Nora walks in behind freaking Iris. I expected something to happen to her, and she's just walking in a trench coat.
Looked awesome.
Yes, I loved the fro.
She was like total 70s vibe with her dress and her fro and her peace necklace.
I love how Joe was just like...
Black power. That was the Black Power symbol.
Yeah.
But yeah. Like, that was awesome. And then Caitlin looked 80s because of her blazer and, like, her hair and her eyeshadow.
Yes.
And Frost's look was so awesome. It was, like, that bohemian 70s vibe that was, like, Stevie Nicks kind of thing.
I really liked it. And she liked it enough to keep it.
Yeah, I liked it, too. And then Joe looked like he was all, like, vintage, you know, like a classic detective from, like, the 40s or something.
He can fit in any decade.
So that was cool.
I don't know, I really enjoyed the outfits.
Yeah.
I mean,
even though it was just like just that scene where we saw them like that, it was still great.
Right.
You know, I love when like Iris came in and she's all like fluffing her fro, you know.
I love when the cell phones disappeared. And then the truck.
And then, like, the posters behind them at the Blockbuster that had, like, Practical Magic and, like, all these 90s movies and stuff.
It was. I loved it. They were all talking about Space Jam.
Yeah, because that would be playing.
Right. But they also referenced Space Jam because the new one's coming out.
Yeah.
So it was, like, a double reference, like,
Yeah.
Oh, did you notice that why can I not remember her name? Like the actress's name. But, the one from Discovery is playing the mom on the new Space Jam.
Oh, Burnham? Shaniqua Martin Green?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
Right?
And Zendaya's gonna be in it, too.
Like, I just saw, like, a quick, like, couple clips of her in there. I was like, that's Burnham! Like, yeah.
Shaniqua,
I think so. So, I was just like...
That's cool.
Yeah.
Is it an all-black cast?
Yeah.
I mean, the original was, too, wasn't it? Or was it not? I don't know.
I never saw it. I just know that it had that basketball star.
Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
I watched it.
I couldn't remember which basketball star it had. I just remembered it had one.
Michael Jordan.
Yes. I mean, they went back to having a basketball star again, but...
that's cool.
Yeah,
and also, like, because the 90s, like, decade is, like, old, like, far enough in the past that they can have it be, like, in time travel stuff.
But then they also know that their target audience will fondly remember what they're doing.
Yeah, the target audience will have either been kids or been in high school in the 90s. So, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't remember much of the 90s. I remember more of the 2000s than the 90s. But there are things that I mean, obviously, when he mentioned Beanie Babies, I was like, duh.
Yeah. Duh. I still have mine, too. Like, I do.
Okay. My mom mom has way more than I do.
Yeah.
You think this is a lot. There's a cabinet in the living room. There's her room. There's, like, the guest room that has stuff. Like, yeah.
Mhm.
I have a lot, but...
Yeah, I don't have a lot. I have... Mostly the ones I have came from McDonald's.
I have the teeny babies, too. I have those in a box somewhere as well.
I use them as dodgeballs in my hallway with my brother.
Like, I literally have those, too.
We threw them at each other playing dodgeball in the hallway.
But, yeah, I mean... At some point, I'll probably sell some of them. I don't know. Maybe keep them. We'll see.
I might keep mine for a keepsake.
I'll keep certain ones, but not all of them.
Yeah, you have way too many to keep all of them.
Yeah, I like the bears. I'll probably keep a lot of the bears. Because those are special ones usually.
I'd probably keep the cat one and the turtle.
Keep some of the cats too.
I had like the little turtle one
from
McDonald's. That was the easiest to make into a ball to chuck at my brother. Just fond memories of hitting him.
But I mean, you know, I started collecting in 1998 when I was 7. So like, you know, I had been, and then like after a certain point I stopped, but like my mom and my aunt were still interested in like getting certain ones and like the more rare ones. And I was just kind of like, I don't want any more. I'm done, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah. And so there's certain trends and fads from the 90s that I know and like I did or whatever, but
tie-dye is still my thing.
Oh, I love tie-dye.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
Cisco's
that never died for me.
Cisco's hat was like my favorite.
Yes.
Tie-dye started in the 60s though.
I know, but it came back in the 90s.
It did. Like every 30 years fashion like revamps itself.
Yeah.
It seems like. You know.
I'm waiting for the dreaded, horrible parachute pants.
That's 80s.
I know. But I'm waiting for them.
I mean, 80s was like 40 years ago, so we might see some of that, but I don't know.
Maybe. I hope not. Because they really, no.
I feel like acid wash stuff's kind of coming back, though.
I love acid wash.
And scrunchies are coming back. And denim and all of that.
I've always loved my denim.
High-waisted jeans and shorts and denim jackets and scrunchies and all that kind of stuff. Although the outfits that Cisco and Chester were wearing were very loud 90s clothes. Like, mismatched colors and patterns. And, like, that was a big thing in the 90s, too.
Yeah, but was that really 98? Because 98 was getting more modern. Like, that would have been early 90s.
No, it was like mid-90s when they did that.
I don't know.
Because, like, Fresh Prince, he dressed that way.
But he didn't dress that way. Like, it was, even though, I mean, in the beginning he did, you know? But that was also earlier.
In 96.
No.
Or it started in 90. Yeah.
Yeah.
1990, yeah.
So it started towards the beginning.
In 96. Yeah.
But, like, as the show continued, his style, like, even though it stayed very 90s and all color and everything like that, his style got more, like...
modern.
Yeah, like, more current.
But see, 2000s had some interesting fashion, too. I mean...
Yeah.
I don't know. I know that there's just people that think that, like, the colors and the patterns in the 90s, like, they did not like that about it. Other things about it, yes, but not that. Like, crop tops, high-waisted stuff, denim jackets, leather jackets, tie-dye, scrunchies. Those kinds of things come back, but not the loud pattern type clothing, really, as much.
No.
That can stay in the 90s.
It can. The way, what's his face... Was his name like Jazz or something? Like in the Fresh Prince? Yes. His clothes can firmly stay in the damn 90s.
Yeah, I think that was his friend's name. I forgot. Also on Beverly Hills 90210, you saw some of that fashion too. I mean, there was some of that mismatched, like, bright color stuff as well.
Right. I don't understand how the mismatch thing was.
But see, that show went to 2000, so that was the whole decade of the 90s. So I mean, yeah, you saw that more in like the earlier seasons, and then kind of as it went on, it like changed a little bit, but you still had that 90s fashion.
Right.
So
see, I don't understand how all the color thing, like the mix match stuff, ever became a thing.
Because I just wanted to be different.
Because, like,
I mean, there's certain things in the 80s that I'm like, how did that ever become a thing, too?
Yeah.
I like a lot of the 80s fashion, but there are some things where I'm just like, no.
Yeah.
I like leg warmers. I like, you know, the neon.
Yes. I love neon.
You know, I know people have their issues with shoulder pads, but
yeah.
I think it just depends on the outfit.
I have one shirt that has shoulder pads. It's the only shoulder pads I will wear.
I think it depends on the outfit for me. If it's like a blazer or something, I don't think that it's a problem to have shoulder pads really. But if it's like, or like a kind of a different looking, like a vintage looking dress or something of that time.
Right.
But if it's just like in everything, then I'm like, no. But yeah, I mean, that was interesting with them trying to figure out how to give back to their time and
yeah. Kind of like I knew it was either gonna be the towel boy or the super jock, you know?
And I don't think that in terms of Nora, I don't think Barry's too happy that she's gonna be staying with them.
Yeah. I mean, I like
based off how he reacted. Just because it's hard for him.
Yeah.
Because it's his mom.
But not
his mom. It looks like his mom. But it's the Speed Force.
But it also makes him comfortable when he's running.
The
Speed Force is like his burrito blanket.
Like Iris said, I'm his lightning rod, but you're his lightning.
Like, the Speed Force is like his burrito blanket. Like, it reminds him of his mom, and he needs that. He needs that comfort.
Him feel safe and feel like he's home. And
if she changed her appearance, it wouldn't be the same.
Yeah.
For him. And I mean, isn't it like, I think it's perfect that the Speed Force was reborn by love. And so the Speed Force is of love.
Right.
And the embodiment of the Speed Force is his mom. The person he was closest to besides Iris. Like, yes. The person that he loved as much as, or whatever you want to say, as Iris. Like, yes. It makes perfect sense that it would stay Nora. But I do have issues.
Yeah.
Nora seems off.
Yeah.
And I mean, I enjoyed the moments when it seemed like she was becoming more motherly towards him. I thought that was very adorable and touching. That the Speed Force would start having human emotions. But whenever we brought up the other forces, she got this look about her and this inquisitive nature and this like, I want to go after them. I'm not strong enough, but let's go after them. Let's murder them, type. Like, that's the vibes I was getting. And I'm just like, that's not okay.
Right.
There's something fundamentally wrong with you right now, and I am not comfortable. Like, I can't trust the Speed Force, and that makes me feel weird.
Yeah. Although there have been times in the past where the Speed Force has not necessarily been something that we could have trusted, right? Or has it always been?
It's always been trusted.
It always, okay.
Yeah. I mean, there were times when it was defending itself and Barry was trapped inside, but even those times, it made you feel comfortable to be there. Right. Like, it was still this loving, kind of protective force for Barry. And, like, it was still getting to know Barry, and Barry was still getting to know it. And, there was that whole give and take thing, and, Like, Barry could have, like, he could have made it out eventually, but they needed him out now, so they had to break into the Speed Force to get him out, which caused everything to go wrong.
Yeah.
But, like, it's just, like, I don't know, it's, like, I've never not trusted the Speed Force before, and this makes me not trust it.
Yeah.
And that just feels weird and wrong.
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah. And I'm glad that Chester was able to have that moment with his father.
Yeah.
To really understand that what he thought was different than what actually was.
Yeah.
You know, that he was given that opportunity.
Yeah.
And I'm liking Cisco and Chester's friendship.
Chesco. Yeah. It's interesting. I wish we would get... We got to know Chester's powers once. I want to see him start, like, coming into his own with his abilities. Like, he's more than just a brain.
Right.
Like, give him something to do with his abilities. You got Allegra. You got Allegra with her abilities. We've been focusing on that since she showed up. Why can't we focus on Chester's abilities and how he harnesses them and teach him how to do it properly without bringing a black hole over the whole damn city? Like,
I think it was more with him because he was just kind of recurring at first. Allegra kind of became a regular part of it because she was connected to Nash. And so she kind of got to be a part of the show more and a part of the team.
Yeah.
Whereas Chester didn't really get to do that until, like,
this season.
Right.
But, like, the last we had seen of him, right, it was like they were putting him in some sort of field so that he wouldn't hurt anyone with his abilities anymore.
Yeah.
And then...
I thought he was going to use his abilities with the...
Right? I was just like, oh my gosh, he's finally going to, like... They've been training him behind the scenes, and flashback montage moment, let's go!
Yeah.
And shit never happened. He talked the idiot down and into becoming more powerful.
Basically controlling what everybody else can do. Yeah.
And if Psyche is evil, which I don't know if I believe, because that basically came out, like, I don't know, like, I feel like when Cisco said he's evil, or whatever, Nora smiled, and I'm just like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Just no. Like, I don't think so.
Right.
I think something is manipulating them. Even Nora, and I think the longer she's here, the more she's affected by it.
Yeah.
Which is probably why things go to shit next week when she tries to tag along with them.
Yes.
But yeah. I don't know.
I mean, I like that Iris was talking to Nora about everything with Barry, and I mean, there wasn't a whole. I mean, things happened, but there wasn't a whole lot that actually, like, went on.
Right.
You know, it was more of just kind of like a fun episode in a sense that, you know, got to go back to the 90s, and there was a temporal anomaly that, you know, they were in that was a time loop, and
learning that Cisco's our age.
Yeah.
The moment he said, I'm 7,
I was like, yeah, I was 7 in 1998 too.
He's like, I'm 7, you pedophile.
Predator.
Like, right?
Yeah.
Predator. I'm like, I didn't know that word when I was 7, but you're smart, so.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
The actor was born in 89.
Well, they do get older people to play younger people.
He was born on 4/20. April 20th.
This month?
Yeah.
A couple days from now.
Not a couple days.
Yeah.
A couple weeks.
It's still days. What is it, like
it's the 6th.
Yeah, the 6th. The 6th, 7th.
So.
Yeah. It's just a couple days.
2 weeks from now?
It's just a couple days. I don't know why my brain said it was the 12th. My brain was like, it's the 12th.
No, it's the 6th.
Oh, the 12th would have been Monday. The
Yeah.
12th would have been next Monday. Okay. Yeah. So. But still, it's just a couple days from now.
It's a couple weeks.
Still a couple days.
A couple days is like 2 days.
I don't count a few there. A few days. Are you happy now? My verbiage changed by one word.
I'm just saying.
It's still just a few days away.
Whatever. Yeah, so his character is probably born the same time as us, but the actor was not.
Right, that's why it says Cisco.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It seems like Caitlin and Frost's living situation is
a little harder than
than
Caitlin might have
anticipated.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is what I asked for last week. I asked for last week.
Yeah.
I asked for those moments, and I'm glad we're getting them.
Mm-hmm.
It makes me so happy.
But yeah, I hope that we do start to see more Winchester's abilities. As the season goes on, probably will. And next week, Barry's getting too much of the Speed Force energy.
Yeah. That's gonna be interesting.
Yeah.
And
let's see what the name of that episode is.
When is the court?
That's after the next one.
Oh.
So next week's is called Growing Pains, and then The People versus Killer Frost.
Really? We have the Phantom Menaces and Growing Pains.
When a mysterious ice-powered enemy frames Frost for a brutal crime, she must find a way to clear her name. Barry and Iris have a surprise house guest. Joe continues to deal with Kristen Kramer.
So we have Phantom Menaces and Growing Pains. At least we don't have Legends names to deal with, because that would have just killed me. Because I could only imagine what they would have came up for next week as well.
I love the episode titles for Legends episodes.
I know. Anyways, anything else?
I don't think so. I don't really know.
A lot happened, but not a lot.
Yeah, I mean, Killer Frost is going to get...
She's not going to let the threat stop her from living her life.
No.
Which is smart, yet stupid.
Yeah.
Because she's still considered a threat.
So.
So I suppose until
next time, keep believing in the impossible.